Good evening, my campus brothers and sisters. Squaw! I trust that you guys have responded to the call. Hey, I want to give you guys some updates on where we're at as a church and as a campus ministry in regards to the coronavirus. One thing I can say for sure that even though this virus is to be taken seriously, this virus has also provided some of the most funniest memes known to man. Like, I am loving these jokes. They're great. Anyway, in the book of Nehemiah, the tribe of Judah, they're brought into exile. They're taken away from Jerusalem and they're taken into Babylon as a result of their sin. They're taken away from what they've always known, the temple, the altar, worship. They're brought to a new land for a period of time, but then now they're brought back to Jerusalem and they have to try to figure out, how do I go about worship? How do I go about sacrificing now that everything's been torn down, and they start this process of rebuilding. And as a campus ministry, even though we haven't been necessarily exiled because of sin, I think as a result of spring break and this virus, when we come back, things are different. Many students have left. Our normal meeting spots aren't going to be available, and it'll just be very different because we can't meet in large groups like we used to. And so things will be different. But what I want to encourage us is to use this not as a setback, but to view this as an opportunity to be set forward. If that makes sense. I coined that phrase. Not be set back, but be set forward. Nehemiah, when he goes back to rebuild, he says, the God of heaven will give us success in chapter 2, verse 20. The God of heaven will give us success. We, his servants, will start rebuilding. But as for you, talking about this guy who was hating on them, saying, why are you guys rebuilding? Why are you doing this stuff? He says, but as for you, you have no share in Jerusalem or any claim or historic right to it. So Nehemiah realized, hey, going back, God will give us great success. And for us, a few things I want to share as we head back into the normal rhythm of life. One, since the government has ordered a shutdown of any nonprofit organization meetings that are large in gathering, this Sunday, we're going to have a virtual church service at 10 a.m. 10 o'clock, we're going to log into YouTube Live, and the ministers of the Hampton Roads Church are all going to give a presentation. We're going to have a service, communion together, but we're also going to discuss the plans for the Hampton Roads Church for the next few weeks, and how we're going to fellowship and practice social distancing at the same time. To give you a heads up, we are going to have house churches for the next few weeks rather than physical meetings as a whole body. And so we'll talk to you about that so you can feel confident in what we're doing. And then also at 6 p.m., I'm asking everybody in the campus ministry to come to my place. We'll meet in my backyard, and there we'll discuss the campus ministry plans moving forward. How we're going to still carry on this theme of connecting to one another, connecting others to God, even though many people have left, and only a few amount of people are left, still figuring out what can we now do. I think we got some great plans that we're figuring out to still be able to reach many people. And we'll talk through our weekly schedule starting next week. Well, our weekly schedule will be midweeks, all that type of stuff. So please, if you can make it Sunday, 6 o'clock, that would be great. And then lastly, for those of you guys who are wondering about the campus retreat, hopefully all of us are, we determined that the campus retreat will be canceled as far as the way we're used to having a retreat. We're no longer going to meet at Sandy Hill because it would be irresponsible for us to gather 250 campus students there when we're trying to contain the virus as much as possible. And even the government is telling us to try to contain the virus and not put ourselves at risk of being carriers. So instead, we're going to have a virtual weekend where we're all gathered together. Every campus ministry will gather together. And that Friday night, we're going to have a main lesson. And then Saturday, we'll have breakout classes where you can log into through Zoom. So there'll be 8 classes, 4 for the men, 4 for the women. I'm doing one for the men, which I think is the best one. Honestly, I just got a feeling about it. So choose that one. But anyway, I'm just joking. But feel free to. But the campus retreat is going to be great. So it'll be a lot different, but I think it's still going to be a fun time. For those of you who have already paid, we'll make sure you get your money back. So they're working. Northern Virginia is working on getting everybody refunds. But unfortunately, that's what's happening. but we think it can still be special. But we'll talk about a lot of this stuff on Sunday at 6 o'clock. So please come 6 o'clock in my place in the backyard. We'll meet. So anyway, that's what I have to share with you now. We're going to have fun tonight at Devo. And just remember, the God of heaven will give us success. Do not worry, do not fear, as God says. But let's be wise as well in the way we approach all of our gatherings. And we'll have more to share with you soon. All right, love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.